And as StreamYard tells me, it's showtime, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the Toypixx Monday Night Live Stream featuring, well, easily the best chat in the YouTube sphere. So, everybody that's in the chat, congratulate yourselves. You're pretty much the way. Anyway, with that all said, why don't we talk a little bit real quick about what this video is going to be about, what this live stream will be chatting about going forward. Now I'm just throwing words together. Anyway, MAFEX is really they've always been one of my favorites. They have been the line where I said, if I couldn't collect any other line, I would stick with MAFEX. I love Jada. I do. But I think that's still the thing. I think MAFEX is still number one for me. And they've been just really stepping it up. And I am more and more tempted. I might even talk about what I'm thinking of doing with the collection moving forward, since focus is tricky and all that stuff. But for the replay crew, if you're digging the MAFEX, what is it you're most excited about? We saw a leaked list with a whole lot of comic figures on it. That's pretty impressive, including, well, not including, but also Star Wars figures from the original trilogy that I'm stoked about, such as A New Hope Han Solo and A New Hope Chewbacca. And they've already got the exclusive New Hope Han in Stormtrooper disguise and New Hope Luke in Stormtrooper disguise, plus A New Hope Stormtrooper. So MAFEX is playing all the hits. And of course, they also showed a teaser, and we'll find out more about it in the next couple days, of the Keanu Reeves BRZRKR character. And think about it this way, ladies and gentlemen, comic book Keanu Reeves could join your collection. Man, that would be cool. And for all of us sitting here going, man, all these DC and Marvel characters should have come with guns, I have a feeling that BRZRKR figure is going to load out a whole lot of figures if you haven't bought Valaverse packs already. Anyway, so there you go. If you're catching this on the replay, what are you most excited about from MAFEX? We're also going to be talking about Monster Force, because not only have the figures looked incredible since day one, and I've got several, I love those things, but now their product photos are really stepping it up. So we're going to look at some of the latest ones. Skew Raider actually sent me stuff to check out, and I was looking at it and thought, okay, this stuff's looking good. So that is what tonight's chat's going to be, plus whatever you guys throw at me and say, hey, did you see this? Check this out. Also, what movies did you miss this time? Because that seems to pop up quite a bit. Anywho, with all that said, let's get into what's going on in this happening chat from the great Sci-Fi George. Sci-Fi, hope you made it out to Novi this weekend, man. I did, and it was a great time. Greetings and toytations, everyone. Marvel Legends unveiled a pic of Shanna the She-Devil last Friday. She looks great. Lots of speculation on if she has a ball joint waist and upper torso movement. If she does, well, I was going to say I would probably pick her up. But here's the thing. I don't know, because she's not popular enough for me to maybe pick up. Like, I was super stoked. Sorry about that, guys. I was super excited when I heard MAFEX is doing the Black Widow. If MAFEX did Shanna, I might go nuts. But I can't argue. I've been saying for a long time, if they started doing a diaphragm joint and a ball peg at the waist, I'd be more likely to pick up Legends. They did it on that Ultimate Iron Man, but he's not 616, so I'm not getting him. And Shanna, I don't know. I'll have to think about it if they do it. But that speculation, hopefully she does, because then I will indeed be quite tempted, because I need more things to collect. Already noting how she'd be an easy mod for Savage Land Rogue. Ooh, good call. Studio Series 86 Voyager class Mixmaster has several picks up in robot vehicle and leg mode for Devastator. Mets Toys, or is it Medi Toys? I'm not sure. Let me know, Sci-Fi. I'm guessing Medi, but has shown off their own articulated armored bear mount for $120, due out first quarter 2026. Mythic Legion's bear mount for $119 will be available second quarter 2025. Ooh. So they better bring it if they're hoping to compete with Mythic Legions. That's it for now. Back to you, Dave, and the incredible chat. Facts. You guys make this all kinds of fun. I can't wait to see what you throw at me this fine evening. Skew, what is up, man? Thank you very much for stopping in. Always a pleasure. Spaded one, you too, sir. Look, all I'm saying is Marvel should have Andrew Garfield play Ben Riley. That's all. You know, I don't know the Ben Riley character enough. Right now, I would say if they introduced Andrew Garfield as a Peter Parker in his own timeline, I think part of why Marvel has lost some of the general population is because the multiverse is way too confusing. But then they brought in Andrew Garfield to be a multiverse Spider Man Peter Parker. If they hadn't done that, I would love this suggestion, even though I don't know anything about Ben Riley, because you would have a separate character. And oh man, I don't know. Help me out, guys. What do you think of Spaded One's suggestion here? Would it be cool to have Andrew Garfield as Ben Riley? All right. Oh no, Spaded's got others. That BRZRKR looks like a fine base for a solid snake custom. Ooh, I didn't think of that. You were not wrong, sir. What do we got? Sci-fi between the Matrix, BRZRKR, and John Wick. Keanu never needs another knife gun or black outfit for the rest of his life. It's too bad. He probably sits back and thinks to himself, you know, if I could just pop my own head off and put it on some of these figures, I'd be set. I'd never have to go shopping. That is a disturbing thought. Don't try to picture that. That frightened me to say. Hola, Clankatron. Good to see you, man. Thank you very much for stopping in. I haven't seen those pics of Mixmaster, by the way, Sci-Fi. Let's see. Going to be neat getting to see those Matrix figs. I wonder who all's license they got. Fishburne, Carrie Ann Moss, the Matrix figure. Okay, what am I missing, Spaded One? Did did MAFEX get a Matrix license too, and I missed that? Because, oh man, Carrie Ann Moss was at Novi this past weekend at the Motor City Comic Con, but I'm just not a celeb person. Like, I saw Tamara Morrison was there, and the line wasn't very long at all. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. Boba Fett's here. And just kept walking. Like, I'm just not, I'm not that impressed. I know some of you are hearing that and going, what is wrong with you? I'm just not that guy. I don't know. My folks either did something wrong or something right. I don't know. Matrix presents a Keanu Reeves collection. Speed, Point Break, Matrix, Wick, Bill, and Aged. Ooh, you know what? The first thought I had was what if Ted Theodore Logan was kind of just grumpy as he got older? I'm like, we could turn this into a Wild Stallions costume. This would be fun. Like, get his custom going like that. That'd be good times. Boss? Boss, I missed the things? Ted. Yep. Don't worry, Spaded One. I knew where you were going with that. Bill S. Preston, Esquire. Wait, no. That was more like saying Keanu or doing a Keanu impression, saying all that. All right, so we've got everybody here in the chat. Good to see you guys. Thanks again for stopping in. I wanted to pull up. We're going to share a screen here real quick. It took us forever to figure out who the winner of last month's Patreon contest was, but we got it. So I've got to inform him and send him his prize. This month is obviously, because it took so long and because I wasn't prepared for a tie. Don't worry, I'm prepared now if that happens with this one. This month is a much shorter window for the whole deal. So you basically have 12 days from now till May 31st to do the May Patreon photo contest. And the contest is lights. That is the theme. So make of that what you will, whatever you want as far as lights concerned. And the winner of this month's Patreon photo contest will win this guy. They will get Guile. Now, that's what I've got for you as far as the Patreon photo contest is concerned. Remember, you want to be in the grande or higher tier, which is the $5 tier. And then also, for those of you joining in perhaps for the first time, there is for absolute free, you don't even have to be a member. Head to the Toypixx Patreon and grab this ebook, 100 Backgrounds for Action Figure Photography. It is in the link in the video description on the YouTube stream as we speak. And I say that because I want to make sure those of you watching on Twitter know that you got to go to the link on YouTube, or just go straight over to the Toypixx Patreon page and it's pinned to the top. So you'll be good to go there. Now, that is it as far as all the stuff that has to do with Patreon. So let's shut that down right now. And let's just jump over. In fact, hang on. I'm going to get rid of the Patreon deal here so that I'm not tempted to go back to the Patreon. We're going to go right here, right now. And I'm going to head back and chat with you, fine gentlemen. Spaded one. Hot dang, that guile is super manly. I know, man. You do not mess with that guile. I don't mess with that guy. I don't even have that guile yet. But somebody else is going to win him. Sci-fi. After The Acolyte and Matrix 4, Carrie Ann Moss will happily pay fans to not only take pics with her, but she'll pay for their autographs. I kid. That's rough. That's rough. I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's rough. Also, Sci-fi. Did you see the guy from Reno 911? Why can't I remember his name? So I was there Friday, and the buddy of mine that was there wanted to see who all the celebrities were that were there. And so we're walking up and down the aisles and seeing where all the celebs are and everything. And the dude totally dressed up, Thomas Lennon, totally dressed up like his Reno 911 garb, was coming out of his booth, giving people fist bumps. He gave us fist bumps. He's like, hey, you guys seen any nerds around here? He was hilarious. So he was super cool. Hopefully enough people got to check him out, hang out with him some, because he was a lot of fun. They also had really sweet Star Wars stuff, as far as like a guy had built R2 and a bunch of other droids. I'll make sure and put up some kind of video. I didn't get tons of footage, but it was a very good time. And I even got some figures. I got my niece, and of course I don't have them here, but you'll see them in the video. I'll tell you what they are anyway. I got my niece the version 2 Rashetta from 30 Minute Sisters. And then I got myself, finally, the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ken, the Player 1 one. I had the others. I just didn't have the original. And I got my MAFEX Phoenix. So I was pretty excited. It was a good haul. And those were at the same booth. I told the guy, these are the best 2 lines out there. He said, I could see an argument for that. What do you got, Clank? My first thought for light is Tron, but my Tron figure is currently out of commission. Well, let's see. There's putty. If it's just that maybe some joints are off or something, you could use putty to try and stick them back together. Never let a Tron guy out of your sight, though. They're crazy. I don't know what that means. And tonight's live stream, by the way, brought to you by Sprite. Yay! It's all fizzy and stuff. Refreshing and bubbly. What do we have? Sci-fi. Let's see. It is Many Toys Day. Okay. Thank you, sir. I saw both of the 2 guys from Reno 911 on video. It looked hilarious. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make Motor City Con this weekend. Hopefully, I'll make it in September. That's too bad, Sci-fi, but I'm sure it'll be pretty sweet in September, too. What is that one? Is that just another one? Do they have that at the same place? Just curious, because I need to be checking that stuff out. I'm already looking for toy shows around me, and they're kind of tough to find. Skew, yep. Saying hi to the people. Very nice, sir. Very nice. All right, let's jump in. All right, now, who has this MAFEX Batman from the Batman, the Battinson? Because I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I've said in the past, if I win the lottery, I won't tell anybody, but there will be signs. And signs would be suddenly I'm loading up on all kinds of MAFEX. I've seen the reviews for this guy, and I think he looks super awesome. And right now there's a reissue. So what I would do is if you're not sure about him, I would look up guys like D Amazing and anybody else you check that does all the reviews when it comes to MAFEX. Kaiju Daddy likely has one up. So just check him out, see what you're thinking. But if you like Pattinson, this looks to me to be a really good figure of him. And like I said, reissued. I mean, MAFEX is they're coming out swinging suddenly, like more so than usual, and I'm pretty excited about it. And now let's go here. Now I know right now for the Chrome Mandalorian, it says pre-order sold out. Last I checked, and I would love to get it. This is not the month, so I'll see if it's available in the next month or two there. But last I checked, it is available on AmiAmi. So if anybody's after the Chrome Mandalorian, head over to AmiAmi and see if you can pick it up. Bonus, you'll get it cheaper than you do at Big Bad Toy Store too. That's one of the things I want everybody to know is you get this stuff cheaper if you order over there from AmiAmi than you will from BBTS. So just something to think about if maybe you've never done imports before or if you've been using other places in the US to get them. Just something to note if you're looking to collect all kinds of imports, it's probably a good idea to start looking at some of those import sites. But yeah, I don't have the version 2.0 that comes with Grogu and all that. My fear is that I would get this one, right? I would want this one, but it doesn't look like it comes with all the stuff that the 2.0 does. So we all know what that means. I would get this one and I would get the 2.0 so I could put everything together with it. But I'm digging. I likes. And now, just like I talked about before, this is what has me most stoked about MAFEX right now. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I've talked about it, but I've been talking a lot about needing to get into SHF Star Wars. But I've got the Vader and the Vader from Jedi, from Return of the Jedi, and I've got the Luke from The Mandalorian. And I'm looking at these right now and going, holy crap, they've got a bunch of good The Mandalorian figures out there as far as Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, Luke Skywalker, all those. They're loaded up with that. And now they're going back to A New Hope. Now I'm starting to think maybe I don't need to bother with SHF until, of course, I see what happens with more of their stuff and, those comic figures that are supposedly coming out. I'm not sure about the likeness on Harrison Ford here. I don't think it's bad. I have to say, I think it's one of the better likenesses, but there's something about those eyes. It almost looks, I don't know, it almost looks, it almost looks like they've got so much shadow on them. They've got him looking a little Sith Lord like, but that could just be me. What are you guys thinking? And let's get chatting and see what we've got. Sci-fi. Yep, they do 2 a year, one in May and the others in the fall. Awesome, Sci-fi. I did not know that. I will definitely be checking that out. Hope to see you there, sir. Spaded One. I still haven't seen the Batman. Oh, Spaded One. Okay, you're gonna watch the Batman. I mean, you know me. I'm the last person to tell somebody they've got to watch something. But if you do watch it, what's going to happen is this: you're going to get to about, what would you guys say, about maybe 75 to 80% through the movie, and you're going to think, wow, that was a great movie. It's done. It was incredible. And then there's going to be another, I don't know. Let's see. Hold on. The screen disappears because I'm too close to the mom's phone. Okay, I got it. But then there's going to be another, I don't know, 20 to 25% movie left to go. Like it feels like the movie was over and then it tacks on some more. That gives it a real ending. I don't know. It was a great movie. I loved it, but it just felt like it added something that didn't need to be there almost at the very end. But I think that Pattinson was probably the best Batman or one of the best Batmans we've seen in forever. And Zoe Kravitz she blew me away as Catwoman. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to check it out, I don't think you'd be disappointed. But that depends. What does everybody else think? Harry, what's up, man? Dave, if you can't find cons in your area, I guess you have to start one. Dave Con, Pix Fest. Ooh, Pix Fest might be fun. We could do something like that. I was actually wondering about getting a booth at one of these Comic Cons. I was talking earlier about traveling the country with a booth, but I'm not sure I want to do that. So we'll see. It might be that I leave the office open for people to come in, but that would be more a local thing, and I want to go more than local. So I'll have to figure it out. Maybe my own con's not a bad idea, Harry. That's something I didn't even think of. Thanks for the idea, sir. Are those Luke and Han troopers in the old stormtrooper body or the upcoming one? From what I understand, Han is on the upcoming one, and Luke is actually on a slightly different one because aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? So it sounds like Luke's actually got his own body on that thing. So I'm not, I mean, I can't 100% say. Check out Kaiju Daddy. What he's been saying leads me to believe this is the new stormtrooper. Spaded one, that MAFEX first Harrison Ford sculpt, and there's still no Chewie, New Hope Han, and Chewie incoming? Yes, according to the leaks. So there was a video on Kaiju Daddy's channel. Make sure you guys are checking that out. I should have linked to it in the video description on this and the last one where we talked about this. But the stuff that he talks about is insane. They've got crazy leaks about what do we have? We have Beast coming, we have Archangel coming, we have Ghost Rider, Black Widow, Punisher, we have Colossus. We have all kinds of, all those are comic figures. Then there's a Daredevil Born Again figure coming. Then there is Han and Chewie from A New Hope are supposedly coming. And some of the craziest news to come out of that leak video is that SH Figuarts is looking to get into the Marvel Comics game with their action figures. So we'll have MAFEX and SHF trying to do comic book figures, which is it's kind of crazy. I'm kind of excited about that. I'd like to see where that goes. But something else that came out of it, in case you guys were just looking at the leaks, is that their source was saying after 2000, it was either after next year or 2027, he doesn't see a whole lot of original trilogy or even prequel stuff coming out. Disney's going to start really pushing their new stuff. So I think if we're going to jump in on any of this New Hope or original trilogy or even prequel stuff, we should do it now because he's not saying they're totally going to go away, but pickings are going to be a lot more slim moving forward after, like I said, next year or the year after, probably because they're going to really be trying to push movies and all that stuff. All right. What have we skew, Harry? Pix Fest it is, sponsored by Stabby's Involuntary Calisthenics. You know what, skew? I feel another shirt coming on. I've got one where I've got Collector's Nightmare and it's a cat. But there's a lot that I need to work on. See, watch the Batman, then Penguin. I haven't seen Penguin yet, but people have said it's incredible. So I definitely want to check it out. Spaded one. I actually fell asleep on it and didn't even bother to go back and watch what I missed. It was a one and done for me. I just looked at it as a slow plate, paced Elseworlds tale. Oh, sci-fi, you make me sad. But we're okay. We agree on many movies, so we're good. No, I thought it was good, but others maybe not so much. We should be keeping track. We should keep a scorecard of like, okay, sci-fi like these movies, I like these movies, skew like these, spaded one like these, clankatron like, and just do that. And then after a while, we can see whose tastes align the most with our own, and then we know who to recommend. Sci-fi, the Penguin series on HBO Max is really good, though. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard it's pretty incredible, so I definitely want to check that out. Mando, wait, what? Oh, man. Why? After I finished the Batman, I wanted the figures right away. One of the best live action Batmans indeed. Absolutely groovy me. I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was a great depiction of the Bat. I don't think it was a great depiction of Bruce Wayne. So hopefully that's a little better in the second one. Mr. Spencer, what's up, sir? Hola, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Still moving stuff, and traffic was no bueno. Ooh, no bueno traffic is never bueno. So, how close are you to done, John? Are you almost moved? That's what's key. If you love the Batman, gotta check out Penguin. I know, I know. I'm just too cheap for HBO Max. All right, let's see. Colossus is MAFEX big body. MAFEX big body equals MAFEX Hulk. I'm in. Also, oh, Sabretooth. I forgot to throw Sabretooth out there, which is, I can't wait to see that. Big C Richie, what's up, man? Your most anticipated figure yet to drop so far this year. Ooh, good question. Guys, what do you think? What is it? Oh man. Sorry, we have dead airs. I'm trying to think. Maybe I should take a swig of Sprite to buy myself time. I don't know, Big C. I will think about that. I'll keep thinking about that as I'm going here. I mean, right now, honestly, I'm pretty excited about Rogue, I would say, and I've got her on pre-order, so I'm pretty stoked about that. And I don't know that you'd count it as a figure, more so as like a gestalt. But I can't wait for Devastator, all the pieces of Devastator from Studio Series 86 to get released. Those are the first two that jump in my head, but I'll still think a little more. I know right now what I'm most excited for is in 2026 is the Tick. That's right, Spoon. All right. What have you? Let's see. Yes, the Penguin TV show was so good too. Man, all right, all right. We've been on Han for quite some time. Let's get out of here. Wait a second. I want to click on that again. Yeah, weapons galore. And let's head over to Luke. I'm not sure. Luke, it almost looks like, I think the shading is really heavy. I think that's what's throwing me off on their faces. Like it almost looks like maybe it's when they're in the trash compactor, except the uniforms are obviously way too clean for that. Like, look at how slicked down Luke's hair is. That's not quite right. Like, it almost looks like he's in the garbage chute. But I don't know. What are you guys? What are you guys thinking with that? Let me go over here. Okay, let's head back now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm excited about these. I need to step it up. I need to step up my MAFEX game when it comes to ordering. Sci-fi, make sure you call it Pix Fest, Dave, and emphasize what it's about. Last thing you want is some wild furries thinking it's a Pixie Fest con. I don't know. Wild furries would be awesome. They just come in and they go crazy, and then I'm sitting there saying, "Guys, I think I did the memo wrong," but it would still be a good time. We'd find a way. Thanks for the Star Wars heads up, Dave. At Toypixx, they better find some kind of trilogy, but we'll move MAFEX again or original trilogy up the list. Yeah, I know, I know. I wanna. I that's what almost worries me. Skew is right now. I'm thinking I want comic figures. Now I kind of need the Star Wars figures. Before it was, I don't know, SHF, MAFEX. Now it's got to get me some MAFEX. Kind of original trilogy figures. Got it, Skew. Got it. Sorry about that. I was, I think I got you earlier, but I was probably off. Who knows? All the big stuff is moved, but the little stuff will take a bit since I'm just taking a bit every day or so. It's a 2 hour round trip, so I only go on my way home from work. Wow, John, that is oof. How far are you from work now? Like, are you a lot closer to work or no? Because yeah, that would be rough. I've got a friend that I think he said he has to drive like an hour and a half to work. So he was a little bummed when he found out he'd be commuting to work a lot more because he used to be primarily remote. Sci-fi, Amazon has moved up the release of Maximum Hulk yet again, now due June 9th. Oh, all right, all right. So any of you guys getting Maximum Hulk, woo, this could happen. You could get him soon. Oh, something else I wanted to point out, guys. Wreck Ship got the classified retro Viper. So if you haven't seen his pictures, check his account out on Instagram. He shows all the different hands that comes with and has him posing with the fist and the pointers. They're pretty sweet shots. So make sure and go check out his stuff. See, I'm most excited for Studio Series 86 Devastator. Yep, Clank, that was one that popped into my head right after Rogue. How about you guys? And what about you? Huh? What's everybody else thinking is the figure they're most excited to see? And how about you, Big C Richie? See, my most anticipated off the top of my head is Snake Eyes and Bear with Agent Carter, the monkey secret agent, a close second. Oh, why did I not think of the monkey secret agent? Oh man. Ah, you guys are killing me. Die Wallet die. And also the Studio Series 86 Mixmaster looks pretty nice. I want to see him next to the others. I gotta, yeah, clearly I need to look him up. We might that might be part of tonight's stream. Kind of short for a stormtrooper. Looking good, MAFEX. Yeah, Luke, they seem to pay attention to the details, and they'd better because this movie is rather old now. I mean, like it's usually a couple years after a movie comes out before something gets released. It's been 48 years since this movie got put out, so hopefully they get all the details pretty at least close to right. Spaded one, my most anticipated was MAFEX Toby, and not that he's in hand, it's all, or now that he's in hand, it's all shifted to Jada stuff. Street Fighter and Scooby Doo. Oh man, Shaggy and Scooby. Like just those two. I mean, yes, you know me, I'm going to build my Jada army, but if I'm looking ahead to that new line, Shaggy and Scooby, bar none, are what I'm looking forward to the most. I want to see what Jada does with animals. The last of the Time Lords is here. Good to see you, Anton. Thanks for showing up, man. Much appreciated. Big C Richie, did you ever pick up a Maximum Spidey? I did not. Did anyone else in the chat get him? I have my MAFEX Spidey, and I watched enough reviews to see that they seem to be kind of half and half. And I figured, well, I already spent X amount here. Looks like I don't need to spend X amount over here. And I mean, when it comes to the Maximum Spidey, I'll be honest, I would have gotten him if he had had a ball peg waist because I would have wanted to see what all the hubbub was about. But because he didn't have a ball peg waist, I just ended up not getting him. But I do think he looks like Marvel Legends' best Spidey ever. Dave, the Mezco, the Batman figure, 79 bucks on Amazon. Might be time to dip your toe into the Mezco pool. Harry, I saw when I was at that con this weekend, there weren't that many booths that had Mezco, but two of them had the Destro. And I looked at the price on the Destro, and the Destro was 125. And most of the time I would be like, you know what? If it's 5 or 10 bucks more, these are smaller vendors and everything. Of course, I should spend that and get it. But BBTS has that Destro, or at least had him for 50 bucks. So if I were to go with a licensed property with Mezco, it would probably be Destro right now. But still, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I got to figure it out. There's a lot to think about with car stuff that's going on right now, with the Beathir that was just ordered. I still have to get 2 months on my apartment. There's all kinds of stuff right now, but hopefully when all that's said and done, the floodgates are gonna go nuts. So we'll see. Anton, what's your take on Russell T Davies and his 5 generation for the Time Lords? Oh man. Oh dear. Let's be good. Let's be careful, everybody. I haven't been able to watch it because for some reason it's not on Disney Plus where I am. Really? That's weird. I just never, like I said, guys, I tried watching Doctor Who when Matt Smith was the guy, and I just couldn't get into it. Anton, it is cool that they brought back to Ronnie. Would see what happens. Let's see. Brought back. Maybe Russell Davies? Let's see. Let's see what happens. Hang on, Anton. Help me out. Help me out. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I just talked about Star Wars on my podcast and Transformers the movie. Please, everybody, give it a listen. That's right. Anton, do me a favor. Remind us all what the name of your podcast is in the chat. Ooh, all right. Spaded one. There is more. I'm going to set up a donkey slash dragon type relationship with my Jada Scooby and Mezco Timber. That's me pushing the button. Donkey. Everybody love Puffy. See, still waiting on Spidey. Ah, yes. Groovy me. My only Star Wars MAFEX figures are the Mandalorian and Grogu. The rest are all SHF, including an SHF Grogu, which I like better than the MAFEX one. Ah, groovy me. See, I had the first Silver Armor Mandalorian that came with Grogu, and I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good, but the MAFEX one, the way they engineered it looked better to me. So I ended up selling him. But I mean, I had him. I thought he was pretty cool. Just not quite there. I just haven't replaced him yet. Makes me sad. Big C. I think the Storm Arena Sagat is my most anticipated figure. He looks like just the one picture we've seen. Haven't we? What was it? I think Robo had it on where he showed Ryu just looking at that Sagat. That thing looks insane. And as a line, I'm going to be really curious what Storm Arena does when it comes to their actual 112 scale figures. I needs to see this. Sci-fi. My most anticipated Mezco is Cindy Sweeney as Barbarella for the upcoming film. This is 100% wish fulfillment on my part, far as Mezco. If you're gonna want that sci-fi, here's what I'm thinking. And no shade at Mezco or anything there. I obviously don't have one, so I don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to that. But I would think with Sydney Sweeney, you might want Snail Shell to do the figure. I mean, it could be. I mean, maybe Mezco would do it justice, but the way the way all that goes. Oh boy, Kyrus, what's up, man? Good to see you, Miss Cogsmith. Good to see you hanging out. Happy yet sleepy Monday, figure friends. Oh, it is kind of one of those. I was out helping the mom at one of her accounts tonight, and everybody I came across was like, "Yeah, it's Monday." And one person even said, "It's Monday. It's a day to just chill." And I'm thinking, Mondays are chill days? When did that happen? RP, Dave, get that Destro. $50 for that is a steal. I know, I know. And I do need a Destro in my G.I. Joe collection. So we shall see. Anton, she is an evil time lady. She thinks everyone is a batch of chemicals. She's called Durrani, the equal to the master. Ah, and the master is who the general time lords are, correct? Like the master would be, is it Shooty Gatwa? And then she's like the opposite number to him or something. That's wild. Watch some weird, wild stuff. I got nothing. Whee! What have we, Kyrus? Man, I really want to get that MAFEX Luke and Han Stormtroopers, but no money. I hear you, Kyrus. I hear you. I mean, I needs the New Hope stuff, but I will tell you, if I'm gonna miss New Hope stuff, I'm okay. I think the Luke and Han as Stormtroopers are ones I'm okay missing. I mean, I want them, but what I need would be like the Han and the Chewie, just standard A New Hope uniforms, you know? Oh boy. Okay. There's so much to push, so many buttons. You guys are hanging out. I loves it. Whee! What is? Oh my gosh, we have emojis. I likes it, Miss Cogsmith. All right, John. What have you, RP Truth? That Destro is an amazing bargain at $50. That's what everybody's saying, and that's why I'm sitting here going, should I? Should I? Should I? I don't know. I'm only fighting myself because of other expenses that have come up. Anton, put your YouTube channel name in the link for any newcomers. Oh, let's see. YouTube channel name. YouTube channel name is Toypixx, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you've got that. But if not, it is a simple Toypixx. And for you, Anton, let's see it. Let's see it. Help us out. That Luke head sculpt looks like Anne Heche. That's what I'm saying. There's something weird with that. Of course, Anton. Okay. Uncarded. Good to see you, man. These Star Wars figures look pretty cool. I'll catch them on their way out of retail at a steep discount. I don't know, man. Like when it comes to the Disney Star Wars figures, I think you might get that. Like, but these are MAFEX original trilogy. I could be wrong. It might be that people have just stopped caring about Star Wars, but I have a feeling the original trilogy ones maybe sell. But we'll see. You might be right. And if any aren't going to sell and if any are going to go on discount, it probably would be this Luke and Han. So, Kyrus, that's something to think about too for both of us. Anton, just for general information, tomorrow they're going to release a trailer for Zootopia 2. Really? I saw that with my niece. She dug it. I wonder if she'll like the second one. Let's see. I feel sleepy now. No! Look what you've done, Miss Cogsmith. Let's see. Truth and yes, it's a weird shift in week/time. Yeah, it's just yeah, it was different. It was different. I had a weird week last week, but I can feel it a little in the air today. Anton, is it named Zootopia? Zootopia? That would be a good name for it. I was honestly thinking about loose figures collectibles in regards to a Sydney Sweeney Barbarella figure, but Snail Shell is a great choice too. I mean, Snail Shell would give her a more anime look, but Loose Collector might be the way too. Let's see. Anton, the master is the doctor's equal. Let's see. In Exit is Professor Moriarty. Moriarty? Let's see. Yes, Utopia 2. Okay. All right, we're about to jump around a little bit here. We're sitting on Luke a little long. Those Sydney Sweeney fans aren't going to be happy with anything smaller than a 1/6 fig with full removable soft goods. Weirdos. This is fair. This is fair. She shows up. She shows up in weird places too. Like I promise all of you. Okay, now this is going to sound like some kind of weird defending myself thing, but truly, I don't even get on my personal Facebook hardly at all, right? And I will get on the Toypixx Facebook just to schedule a post or to post something. But once in a while, I will cycle through my feed and Sydney Sweeney's there. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've never looked this person up, and yet she's here. So clearly, what you guys are looking up is somehow getting brought into my feed. Same thing happens on X, but that's mostly because people are sharing pictures. I have no idea why she's showing up on the Facebook feed. Okay, let's see. All right, Kyrus, what have ye? Why did she re-release, or why did SH re-release Han and Chewbacca, but not Princess Leia? I don't know. They re-released a bunch of stuff. I think they're re-releasing Kenobi as well. What was that? They're re-released the schedule. The first ones were Darth, the Stormtrooper, Han, and Chewie. Correct? But I think they re-released Luke as well. They re-release, or they're going to re-release Sam Jackson or Mace Windu. They're going to re-release. Well, it looks like right now they're going to release Luke and Yoda, but who really knows? I mean, they're re-releasing Obi-Wan from A New Hope as well with the cloth goods. So I don't know. I don't know. SHF's kind of It's like, wait, we can do a New Hope figures again? Let's go nuts. Sci-fi, the Master slash Missy and the Ronnie are very dangerous Time Lords. The Doctor and the Master started off as childhood friends, a relationship older than our civilization. Okay, so the Doctor and the Master are different people. Okay. Oh, so there's more. Okay, so the Doctor is not the only Time Lord. See, this is me not knowing my Doctor Who at all, but getting an education, which I can always use more of. All right, let's get out of here. I'm going to get out of the Luke shot here. Just stoked about that kind of thing. And now let's look here at just these couple things. This is all we've got to go on right now. This is a preview of their Chucky and their BRZRKR figures. Now let's go here, get slightly larger figures, like slightly more in-depth shots. Chucky, he looks adorable, doesn't he? Like, he looks like one of those characters that you just look at before you go to bed and smile. You just stand him on your display right there. You make sure and give him your knife. You make sure, actually, I feel safer with Chucky having a knife in his hand than Mr. Stabby having or the wallet having a knife in his hand. It makes me happier and definitely safer for sure. But I wanted to highlight Chucky here. Then we'll head over to BRZRKR. I think that Toon or that Icon and Frazetta Girls would do Barbarella justice. They would, but they need to step up the. They got it. Well, I'm thinking maybe I'm not thinking of what Sci-Fi is thinking of. Am I? I don't know that I know anything about Icon. Frazetta Girls, yes, but they would need to step up the articulation, I would think. I mean, for me to be stoked. Spaded one, Dave. I feel that I've never watched a single thing with Sydney Sweeney in it, but social media insists I know who she is. I know. I didn't even see Madam Web. And you're not wrong. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything that she's been in. But yeah, apparently the internet loves them, some Sydney Sweeney. Groovy me. I got my OT Star Wars and most of my figures are, let's see, from eBay and Mercari because they were so much cheaper there for me. Maybe, man, maybe that's going to work. Like, I'm wondering, the only thing I'm wondering here, though, is MAFEX has never done original trilogy figures except for R2 and 3PO and those figures, well, and the Stormtrooper. And as far as I know, those figures were just abysmal quality wise. So, well, and Boba Fett's. I just keep shooting myself in the foot by my own words. By the way, Miss Cogsmith, if you're still here, what did you think of that Boba Fett? But yeah, I mean, maybe they're groovy me. I wasn't even thinking of those. Maybe original trilogy doesn't matter so much. Because yeah, you might be onto something there. Big C Richie, I know Jada has announced the entire roster, but don't you think they've been quiet about Wave 6? We haven't seen June hardly on any YouTube channels this year. That's true, Big C, but I think we're going to see June a little more when it comes to SDCC, like around that time. And keep in mind, with the way things were going for a while when it came to getting things shipped over here from China, people were all staying pretty quiet. There hasn't even been much to talk about as far as 1/12 action figure news at all. So it might be that June just didn't have anything to say. And right now, everything they had that was already in production is finally shipping over. And he might be able to talk a little more about that. But that is total speculation. We will see. Hopefully, they'll come out and say something like, hey, yeah, so Wave 6 is happening. Uncarded, my current favorite 1/12 scale Star Wars collectible is the Black Series Stormtrooper and Dewback set. I saw that. I didn't pick it up, but it does look very cool. I like a lot of the sculpts, especially the creatures and the droids that the Black Series team puts together. And that Stormtrooper, that Sand Trooper, well, Stormtrooper, I guess there, if he had extra hands, or was he a Sand Trooper? I don't know. If he had extra hands, I would have been all over it. Like, that's the one thing missing from Black Series. Miss Cogsmith, such an adorable mauling victim. I know, right? Like you go to sleep, you just dream of how sweet and nice Chucky is. Anton, there used to be a planet of Time Lords. That's why I'm blessed. But they are all dead. The Master killed them all just recently. Really? Okay, so right now, all that's left of the Time Lords is the Master and the Doctor. Is that correct? That's right. That's right. An old Dave can be taught new tricks. Sci-fi spaded one. The avant-garde fan will go to Japan for a life-size synth flesh robot look-alike of Sydney Sweeney for $3,000. Don't ask how I know all of that. I just do. God, do you guys were you guys all here when we got on? And I thought, let's just look up the most expensive action figures on Amazon, and they ended up being life scale, like 1-to-1 figures of like anime girl looking things. I'm going, okay, there's a special kind of person that's getting these. Chucky, the one figure Stabby rests his second to ponder acceptability. Stabby respects stabs. That's true. That's true. Maybe I could get Chucky and use Mr. Stabby as a figure stand. I'm not even a Chucky guy, but there is something really cool about that face sculpt. Love my NECA Chucky, but this MAFEX one looks good too. Although most of my horror figures are in the 110 scale. Groovy Me, I would find it difficult, to be honest. Like NECA really knows their horror, and their stuff always looks so good. I kind of regret I was in the store and I saw the Vincent Price and I didn't get it. But like I say, unexpected stuff, and I'm like, gotta be good, gotta be good. But I would be hard pressed to stray too far from NECA if you really love horror figures. So I totally get that. Totally, totally understand. Kairos Toypixx for Zeta Girls said they are going to make a lot of figures from Fire and Ice, including the caveman, Java Man looking foot soldiers. I hope, I love the look of their stuff. If they improve the articulation, it's going to be tough to say no. Skew, Groovy Me, this is 1/12 MAFEX, right? Great to have options. Skew, it's got to be 1/12, I would think. I didn't even look it up, honestly. Hang on. But I mean, everything else MAFEX seems to be 1/12. Let's see what they say. Preview images have been posted by Metacom for their next two MAFEX figures. Included is a Chucky 6-inch scale figure from Bride of Chucky, as well as a BRZRKR 6-inch scale figure from the Boom Studios BRZRKR comic series. Full details and pre-orders should go live soon. So there you go. I mean, they're saying 1/6 scale. And now, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. That is your Keanu. And what actually has me most thinking about getting this figure is that it's a comic figure that's not Marvel and DC. Like, and it's in fact arguably probably the least well-known license that MAFEX has ever done anything for. So does this mean that MAFEX is really going to start getting into more indie stuff? Because if they do, that would be kind of awesome. Like MAFEX could start doing stuff that no other company is doing that people have wanted for a long time. All right, what have you, Spaded One? That MAFEX Chucky is about to go to war with the NECA baby turtles. Oh, ooh, that's all right. That's all right. We just make it the turtles never existed. Miss Cogsmith. Oh, you remember? That's so cool of you. Thank you. That's okay, Miss Cogsmith. Of course, I was the one that suggested it, so I feel like I've got a horse in this race. I had to leave it at the store. My bank account got decimated by bills between my leaving the house and going birthday shopping. They still have it though, so maybe next week. All right, crossing my fingers for you, Miss Cogsmith. It is a cool figure, but I completely understand things coming up and being like, maybe not right yet. Anton, please, Dave, do not get Chucky because Mr. Stabby and a team up. That would be, you know what, though? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I don't think they'd team up. I think they'd want to cut each other. So I don't know though. I don't know. Maybe that's how I get away with spending massive amounts of money on figures is by putting Mr. Stabby and Chucky on the same shelf and letting them throw down with each other. I don't know though. I don't really bother with MAFEX, but Chucky has my attention. I have the NECA one and he's nice and all, but we'll see about this one. Yeah, I mean, for a first MAFEX, I would say if you don't really bother with MAFEX much, Clankatron, Chucky is going to be totally different than the rest of them. So I'm a staunch defender of MAFEX right now. What they're doing right now, I think, is really cool. So if you get him and he doesn't live up to whatever your expectations are, don't judge the whole line based on Chucky. Get you a BRZRKR or something like that. Or find a cheap MAFEX and pick that up just to see what's up with them. There's on Ami right now, for those of you who are into Star Wars, I noticed Forlom is coming in at a pretty cheap price, and I've been eyeing that one a little bit too. I'm telling you, Star Wars with MAFEX has my attention. Yes. Spaded one. Hope Mezco gets Chucky soon. They have a decent roster of slashers going. Man, yeah, that's something that would frighten me about Mezco. Getting them to have a bunch of stabbies. Miss Smith, Keanu Reeves is Winter Soldier. Oh, that's a nice call. We just pop this head off and pop it on the Winter Soldier head or the Winter Soldier body. Or, oh, yeah, that's kind of a cool idea. We could probably even pop the Winter Soldier arm off and put it on here. There's all kinds of stuff now. There's too many ideas now. Keanu Reeves is psychedelic snake. we need like I want a cartoon Keanu, and this is probably about as close as we're gonna get. BRZRKR is an awesome comic. I have to check it. I have got to check it. I need to figure out, I need to start reading comics again, but I don't hear much, like, I don't hear much good about the characters I really care about. So any comic I jump into would have to be a brand new thing. So BRZRKR, that might be something I jump into. BRZRKR is definitely one I want to, let's see, I want to get in a collected book if it's available. I missed every dang issue. Miss Cogsmith, if you hear about a collected book or if anybody in the chat knows about a collected book, let Miss Cogsmith and me know because we might both be in on something like that. Spaded one feels like MAFEX got some kind of deal with Keanu specifically. They've been doing the John Wicks and now this and the Matrix. So there was a Matrix announcement. Holy crap. Okay, Spaded one. Now I'm wondering. Okay, so we get all the. I mean, I've gotten a ton of the X-Men figures from MAFEX. So now I'm thinking, you know how obviously in the 90s they all had to wear black suits and everything. You just pop off like one of the comic X-Men heads and see if you can pop it on, say, a black jacket wearing Neo. Like that would be sweet. Oh man, it's dangerous enough to decide you want to load up on MAFEX figures. It's a whole new ball game when you decide, wait, I can start doing swaps and give all these characters the same suited body. That's a problem. That's a problem. You don't want to get into army building your MAFEX. That Stormtrooper has me really thinking about the collection. You have to go to Comic Con one year in NYC and you will have no more money, but that's okay. Well, that's easy for you to say, Anton. But no, I would love to go to NYCC. I would really love to check out SDCC, but we'll see. I mean, it'll happen. It'll happen at some point. I feel like if I'm going to make a go of this whole toy tuber thing, I pretty much have to check these things out. No, the enemy of my enemy is just another enemy. Well, I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend as long as both enemies exist. But when one of the enemies takes out the enemy, now the enemy is back to simply focusing all their enemy powers on me. So what I'd have to do is make sure Chucky and Mr. Stabby don't actually take each other out. Uncarded, I backed the BRZRKR Kickstarter, so I'll probably get this just because. Nice. And by the way, guys, I was talking a little bit about how I'm thinking of focusing the collection right now. This isn't to say I won't stray, and this isn't to say I don't have other interests I need to pick up. But I'm thinking right now, top of the list is finish off Jada Street Fighter and the Edge Runners. And then from there, just pre order everything as it's up for pre order, right? And then after that, the next priority is slowly build up the MAFEX figures that I've been missing out on. And then, as I'm slowly doing that, because there's a lot of that that'll happen, I'm also very slowly picking up some Transformers and G.I. Joe and seeing what else is out there. But for now, I feel like my interests are all over the place and I've got to triage it some, but it won't be triaged entirely. Just know that right now, my priorities are going to be Jada and Mafex with other stuff sprinkled in. Sci-fi, the Doctor, the Master, the Ronnie, possibly Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter, sometimes Dr. Riversong, the Doctor's wife, Jenny, the Doctor's daughter, and that's about it for now. You mean as far as the Time Lords? Because that's a lot of that's I was way wrong then. If that's what's up, Big C, what announcements you looking for, hoping for at SDCC? I think what I would most love to see, Big C, and let me know what you're hoping for too, and what everybody else in the chat's hoping for. I would love to see Jada come out and announce a Looney Tunes figure line. I need the Looney Tunes, and they've proven they can do it with figures like Chester Cheetah or Sylvester. Like you could do, I mean, the fact that they know how to do that Chester Cheetah means they could do a Sylvester. And then Tony the Tiger means they could do kind of that fluffy monster guy or maybe Foghorn Leghorn a little bit. Like, I just think that Jada specifically would crush it on Looney Tunes. And that would be the big announcement that I'd most want to see. Now, the one that I think a lot of people are going to want to see, and the one that June has alluded to, he hasn't come out and said this is happening, but it sounds like they may be coming out with a 112 scale Invincible line. And if that's the case, I can see a lot of people being stoked about that. All right. I must keep pushing the buttons. Facts on BRZRKR. Dang. BRZRKR. What was that? That seems like it was a Kevin Smith joint. Titan Comics Conan is awesome. I do not know what this is. Oh, Titan Comics Conan. Okay, okay. So we have a recommendation. We have BRZRKR and we have Titan Comics Conan. Anton, if you love Keanu Reeves, you'll love BRZRKR. Oh man, does the comic actually say whoa? Like I want to open the comic and I want to hear it say whoa. Whoa. Kyrus, Toypixx, MAFEX 4 Lam is one of my favorite Star Wars MAFEX figures. Most people don't know how good it is. Man, that is awesome to hear, Kyrus. I'm glad to hear somebody loves that thing because I haven't looked up any reviews of it even. So I'm so tempted. 3 volumes of BRZRKR were released with a Kickstarter. I have the hardcovers. Oh man, Mr. Matson, very nice. Miss Cogsmith, sounds like you and I are going to eBay. Good luck. John, you don't need to buy comics. Buy collections or graphic novels. You get more complete stories. Yeah, I know, I know. I love the feel of the old school floppies, though. But I'm totally down with graphic novels. I have several of them. Miss Cogsmith, I met Keanu and he is as awesome as one could expect. That is sweet to hear, Miss Cogsmith. It was back when The Matrix first came out. His band Dogstar played at a local venue/restaurant that was owned by Alice Cooper. See, that just sounds like an absolute blast. That just sounds like it would be ridiculous fun. So I'm glad you got to experience that. And it's always cool to hear that Keanu actually is as cool as it seems like he is. Let's see, Drew, and my budget demands it. The budgets are so angry. Sci-fi, speaking of Keanu, from the world of John Wick, The Ballerina comes out June 6th, 2025. I've seen clips, or not clips, I've seen at least maybe an announcement. I've seen something about that, but I couldn't have told you the date. And yes, Keanu does show up in it, as well as other John Wick supporting cast staples. You know what? Everybody else is doing like, let's watch all the Lord of the Rings movies, man. I think I need to sit down and just watch all the John Wicks again. I think that would be fun. That would be a watch party. That's, you know what, guys? We'll have nerd nights or something at Toypixx, or like nerd weekends, nerd Sundays, nerd Saturday. I don't know. I have to figure out something. Obviously, I'm not going to charge to watch movies, but we need like a day where we all just gather somewhere and watch like a crazy series of movies. And I think John Wick would be a blast to make that a series that we check out. But isn't there a fifth one that's supposed to come out? And if so, should we wait for that to happen? Spaded one. I'm torn on the MAFEX Stormtrooper. $100 plus Army Builder sounds intimidating. I may settle for the $30 Bondi model kit figures instead. And I would not hold that against you. But here's something you could do. And this has been, because I've thought that as well. This is kind of me justifying it to myself. So take that for what it is. If you get the Han Solo, you get the two Stormtrooper heads. So that's basically another Stormtrooper. And if you get the Luke, same thing. So it's just a slightly shorter Stormtrooper. So you get those two, and you get a Stormtrooper, and now you've got three Stormtroopers. And then you only have to get maybe one more to get four, and you're all Stormtroopered out for your MAFEX Stormtroopers. And really, you have three characters and four figures. So I'm not saying yes, I am. I have totally put thought into that myself. So, but that Bondi model kit is definitely the more affordable way to go. What is this? Emerging? Help me out, Mr. Matson. What is emerging? Did I push something wrong? Did I say something off? Energon, TF Joe, and Void Rivals is good. I know. I've heard. Okay, so hold on. I'm actually going to make a list here. Okay. And I know I don't have it. I should have it on the screen. Let's see. Comic recommendations. We're going to go with which one? Who is it that does Conan again? And then BRZRKR. Let's see. BRZRKR. Okay. BRZRKR, Energon Universe, basically, right? Okay, this is riveting right here. I am sure you guys are watching this going, wow. But yeah, remind me who it is that does the Conan. I've got all those down. You mean Gossamer? Voss? Well, I would love to see them do Thundar and the Barbarian. Is it Thundar the Barbarian? I think. Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to see that, and I think a lot of people would like to see Space Ghost too. That one seems to always be hitting there. Facts. That more Hanna-Barbera, Ruby Spears, and Looney Tunes. Heck yeah, Skew. Skew, I think you're speaking my language, sir. Let's see. As Factoid. Whoop. Anton. And I know you love Star Wars, so it would be awesome if you went and looked at the Star Wars Marvel books. I've only done the movies as far as Star Wars is concerned, like the movies and the Disney Plus shows. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't go check out those books as well. Darth Vader Down is a really good story. I've heard that some of the best Star Wars comics just feature Darth Vader as like the man. I stumbled across one of your photography tutorials from a few years ago. Do you still have your Canon EOS 20D uncarded? I do. And at this point, that thing is about 20 years old and it still crushes it. So I've been telling people you don't need the latest stuff. Now, the problem with the EOS 20D, I will say, is it uses a card that is no longer made. So when something happens to that card, I have to get on eBay, and eventually that's just not going to be practical anymore. So I will need to upgrade, but I do live by the simple mantra of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, I'm really happy with what that Canon can do. But one day I will upgrade. And when I upgrade, it will be the best thing that's available at the time. So maybe it'll last me another 20 years. Miss Cogsmith, Wickmania. I'm telling you, we need to have it. This needs to happen. We could have a Wickmania night or something at Toypixx. I'd like to see Jada or Storm Arena get a Mortal Kombat 6-inch line going finally. Papa Todd can't handle that property. Big C, that's something a lot of people have been wanting to see. A lot of people way back when we were talking about Jada were saying Mortal Kombat. Please, Jada, get Mortal Kombat. So we'll see. I will say if I were Capcom, I wouldn't want Jada to pursue Mortal Kombat because I would feel like that would be my licensor or my licensee, I'm sorry, competing with my property, my licensed property. So I wouldn't want them getting it. Well, I mean, no, I would love it if Jada had Mortal Kombat, but I don't see it happening just because, like I say, I wouldn't want them to get Mortal Kombat if I were Capcom. So we'll see, though. I mean, who knows? Storm Arena is interesting, but I think they'd run into the same problem. I'm actually, like I've said in the past, I'm really stoked to see what Storm Arena does. Okay, now we've talked Keanu, we've talked all this. Let me go to, I want to stop by and look at, well, first, before we get into, there were some other things I wanted to show you guys. This is another Baki Hanma from Storm Collectibles. This thing looks really cool, but see, Storm Collectibles, but it's Storm Arena. So Son of Ogre, Storm Arena, Yujiro Hanma, I think. I don't know if that's Baki's brother or dad or what the deal is, but Storm Arena seems to be really pumping some things out. And they seem to be wanting to fill out rosters. Like this is Baki and this is this guy. And Ken and Ryu came out pretty quick. They're already teasing Sagat. They've shown 3 other figures for Street Fighter. So I am interested in seeing what they do and how quickly they release. I mean, one of the things I love about Jada is their trickle release schedule. I love that I'm not having to pick up 2 or 3 waves every month. But I do wonder if they'll decide they need to step it up if Storm Arena gets these things out quickly. And look at that range. That's crazy. And we know Storm Arena can do it. We know that Storm has a history of making really cool figures. But yeah, I wanted to make sure and get this guy shown off because it looks pretty sweet. I, of course, know nothing about the source material, so I don't know if it's that close, but I know whenever I've seen Anthony's Customs do a take on Storm Collectibles, do a review, he seems to think that it's all really close to the source. So I'm thinking we're looking at something that's pretty good here. So there he is. And I also wanted to show off, hang on, she was on the front page here somewhere. Go back to the front page. This figure. Again, another one I know nothing about, but there is something, you know how one of the things about Amazing Yamaguchi that I don't go nuts on them for the fact that they simply don't match up with my other stuff as far as their style. Like all their comic figures seem to have a very anime inspired style, although I'll be honest, I'm still tempted by that new Cable that's coming out. But on their own as like a collection of anime characters, I think they look phenomenal. Now, I don't know anything about Vocaloid. This is Fitness Boxing featuring Hatsune Miku, and I probably butchered that. My apologies. Amazing Yamaguchi Reveltech NR093 Hatsune Miku boxing version action figure from Kyoto. But because of the whole anime look and the fact that Amazing Yamaguchi always goes with that style, I think that she'd go really cool with, say, any other anime figures you might have. And she's obviously going to pose. I mean, Amazing Yamaguchi seems to really be dialing in the form to go with that function. Now, I will say, so far, looking at these, they're not doing anything crazy. Now, I do love this. She comes with a great combo sign. So my assumption is this one is a video game character. Now there's a little movement there. Okay. Yeah, see, I don't know. Ooh, a lot more stuff going on as far as signs, plenty of faces, plenty of hands, obviously. I wish I knew more about the source, and I wish I could see more when it comes to the movement of the figure itself. But we shall see. I wanted to bring those two up before we got into Monster Force, and we'll get into Monster Force here after I get a few more comments done. The Continental series, John Wick, was awesome too. I have not seen that. I need to see that. There's plenty I need to see. The Continental was probably HBO Max too, right? But see, that sounds like a lot of fun. I can recommend some movies. Movies are comics, I feel like, are less of a time suck than movies. Like I can get through a graphic novel pretty quickly. Spaded one, just wait for CT Toys to bootleg the MAFEX Stormtrooper, and then we can all troop build them. You know CT Toys is waiting with bated breath, but you also know Lucasfilm will, oh, they will put the stomp on it. And it sounds like part of the deal with China, as far as all the tariffs are concerned, is they're supposed to be cracking down on bootlegs. But that's been a thing for quite some time now, and they haven't done a great job. So when we sit here and we say these companies keep changing their names because they're afraid of the US going after them, they might actually have a Chinese loophole that they're jumping through to keep the government there off their backs. It's very weird stuff when you learn those kinds of things. We don't talk about the Continental. We erect monuments in its name and offer filthy lucre to its hosts. Lucre? I don't know that. What is this word? Help me, sci-fi. You're my only hope. Anton Titan does Conan. That's right. Titan Comics. Okay. All right. Let me get that in here because I figure there's going to be a lot of places that do comics. All right. We've got that in. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Start with Cobra Commander. Oh, in the Energon universe. Gotcha. Uncarded. I had no idea that McFarlane Toys had released a BRZRKR action figure already. I remember when McFarlane showed him off, I think it was to Keanu, wasn't it? Like at a panel somewhere, but I didn't know that they had released him already. Miss Cogsmith, oh no, that may be the card Mike Cannon uses. Oh man. I'm telling you though, so far, Miss Cogsmith, I can get on eBay and still get that card. But I'm just saying, eventually when that card becomes obsolete, then we both got problems if that's the one you're using. Big C, but didn't Storm do both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat both at the same time? I don't know, Big C. I mean, that would be, if they did, then my argument would obviously be totally moot unless Capcom changes how they operate. We all know that these companies can change on a dime, but maybe. I know Storm has been so inconsistent with their stuff. Maybe it just wasn't seen as that big of a conflict of interest, but I honestly don't know. So help us out, guys. Was Storm doing both of those lines at the same time? Kairos Toypixx, that figure in the BBTS page is a YouTuber person. Is he really funny? It's a YouTuber person. Hang on. Let me go back there real quick. Oops, what have I done? Okay, here we go. Is a YouTuber guy. Who? I do not know. Help me out. Help me out. Okay. All right. Now that I'm here, though, let's check out Operation Monster Force. Now, these two figures specifically are who I was looking at the pictures about. Look at these pictures here with the, let's see, Season 0, Phantom Corps Special Operations Detachment Trooper. This is the one Skew sent me, or one of the ones Skew sent me. I think he might have sent me the other. I can't remember. But look at how good that shot is. Now you can see, obviously, they use some kind of, either it was a fake moss or one of those background kind of things that they used for the ground. The ground is one of the hardest things to make look right in action figure photography, unless you've actually got something built with it or built for it. Like, it's one of the problems with the backgrounds I make, to be frank, is that you really can only go from knees up when you take a picture of the figure in front of them, unless you really play with shadow and try and get it down how the figure would cast a shadow based on light. It's a thing in art school. I think they called it was either grounding or footing or something, so that the figure wouldn't look like it was floating, so it looked like instead it was attached firmly to the ground. But when you don't need to use Photoshop to do that, you actually have something under their feet like this. It's awesome. So you've got this going on. They've got, probably, I would assume those are some plants that they probably got at a pet supply store. Maybe just fake things going on in the background. And the sky that you see, a little bit of sky there, could just be a straight up black piece of poster board that's lit up a little bit. But you can see how well they've got light poking through those plants. And I would say they probably used a little bit of atmosphere aerosol going on there as well, just if you look in the lower left of the picture. So I think not only have they really, I can't say they stepped up their figures. I think their figures are amazing, but they have definitely, I think, stepped up the photography aspect. I mean, I think this looks incredible. They just did a great job. And yeah, look at this. It looks like they've got some serious haze going on here. And maybe what's going on, no, maybe they've got a digital background. I don't think so. I think that looks like, no, look at the light up here where it kind of simulates where the sun is. Look there, look at the plants, how they are in that light. And here you can see a different shape. So there is movement there, meaning that we are looking at actual something that they built instead of a digital background, which is so cool. Like, I love my digital backgrounds, but I need to get into building more of this stuff. I just love the photos, not to mention the figures that Monster Force is putting out. All right, let's keep going here. What do we have? That dude is fire and on point for Baki. Yep, watch Baki, Dave, on the nerd list. Stat. Ah, stupid nerd list. It's on the bad nerd list. I must check it out clearly now because Skew said so. Milk Tea Girl teammates continue to appear. I know not these either, but fire. See, I don't think they look as just gratuitously goofy as Milk Tea Girl. Milk Tea Girl looks just like some kind of shameless figure that just makes me laugh way too hard. That one, the one we just looked at, I could see being sold in the US at, say, Target or Walmart. Milk Tea Girl, not so much. Miss Cogsmith, every anime property seems to be doing Hatsune Miku crossover right now. Or A. I see, I need to learn. I want to learn Japanese. I know it sounds insane, but I know I'm butchering these names and I don't want to anymore. Clegatron, I need a Miku, especially after seeing all the edits of her with Soundwave and the Decepticons. Oh man. See, I'm missing everything. I know nothing. Skew, Big C, Richie, facts. They did do Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat simultaneously, but so slow with drops. Maybe Capcom didn't notice. I mean, that's a possibility too. Skew, Continental is on Peacock streaming, Dave. Thank you, Skew. I appreciate it. Am I too cheap for Peacock? I'll have to figure that out. Like, I feel like to keep up with all the nerddom, I need to keep up with all the streaming. And that's bad. Sci-fi, there are rumors. I say rumors, hearsay that is, that Disney is eyeing Daniel Day-Lewis to play Magneto in their X-Men films. Oh my God. Okay, one, I thought he retired. Two, if not, it's because Disney pulled up with a huge truckload of just basically $1 trillion bills at this point to get that guy back to do Magneto. Man, I don't know. I mean, yeah, rumors. So I hadn't heard that yet. If they pull that off, oh, X-Men. I mean, I won't miss an X-Men movie anyway. I didn't like the Fox X-Men movies, and I watched them anyway because X-Men. I will not miss an X-Men movie. But if Daniel Day-Lewis is in it, a lot more people won't miss an X-Men movie either. God, that would be cool. All right. What have we? What have we? Lucre equals money. All right. Thank you, sci-fi. I figured, but I didn't know. I had never seen that word. I love learning new words. I heard there was a word I heard recently that I'd never heard before, and you can kind of guess what it means, but the word is anti-fungicidal. I just love that word. It sounds nasty and awesome at the same time. Skew can stream on YouTube, Apple, Fandango, and Amazon Prime if purchased, included with Peacock subscription. That's a fair point. If I just bought a season, then I wouldn't have to remember to cancel Peacock. That's kind of where I'm at with a lot of this stuff. Clankatron, I'm not too familiar with Miku lore, but she's a Vocaloid music program slash singer thing. She has plenty of anime crossovers and an exercise video game, which I think that version is based on. That is weird and awesome. I know nothing about the figure, but there's an exercise video game starring her. I might need it now. Storm did Tekken, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat at the same time. That's, I mean, man, maybe. I mean, yeah, who did Tekken? So, I mean, okay, Street Fighter was obviously Capcom. Mortal Kombat, wow. I don't even know what studio did Mortal Kombat. Go me. But yeah, that's insane. And you're probably right. I didn't even, yeah, I'm clearly at a loss for words. I mean, I understand how I'd feel about that from a licensing perspective, but maybe Capcom and everybody else is totally good with it. The one with the yellow background? Let's see. If you're talking about this guy, the Monster Force guy, yeah, Skyrus. We'll see. Danhausen. Oh, wait, you were talking about trying to figure out who the live action guy was. Danhausen. Yes, he is a wrestler. Good call. Okay, I knew that one. I didn't think of him as a YouTuber. Gotcha, gotcha. Thinking same thing. There. Okay, okay. Danhausen, AEW great roster member and total character. He and Orange Cassidy cracked me up. I've actually seen Danhausen because of Robo. So, yes, Danhausen is pretty hilarious. Danhausen has quite the following online. And he's a fellow collector, ladies and gentlemen. Big C, did you get Blanca or Sagat yet? Big C, I got Blanca. I love Blanca. Blanca is amazing. Now, how about you? So it seems to me you're waiting for Sagat from Storm Arena. Did you get the Sagat from Jada? Yep, Danhausen. Okay, there we go. Another great comic I can recommend you. Let's see. Stray Dogs. Think Disney meets 1980s horror films. Stray Dogs. All right, I will type Stray Dogs in here. All right, Stray Dogs is on the list. Mr. Matson, I taught myself Japanese 20 years ago. I could understand it fairly well and could read some. Mr. Matson, I wish that I had taught myself Spanish because, and I know that sounds horrible for my teachers, that I took 4 years of Spanish, but I've talked about it before. All we really learned was writing, like conjugation. I could read Spanish fairly well, but I couldn't speak it. The way you did it is far more practical. Like if you can just speak it fine, you're good to go, and then read some, I would think that's pretty much good. So you can have a conversation with anybody and probably handle yourself in a restaurant. Me, I couldn't do that in Mexico. I'd be hosed because of the way I was taught Spanish. But man, yeah, that's awesome. Clankatron also Hatsune Miku has a crossover with Gundam with Miku branded RX-78-2 and Zaku model kits that I want. Oh, guys. Okay, one thing I forgot to bring up. So I told you that I got Rashetta, the second one from the 30-Minute Sisters for my niece. Well, I was talking, the reason I got that was I stopped by the Galactic Toys booth at the Motor City Comic Con, and they were telling me they're kind of like the big Bandai people now. Like they're going to have the official Bandai license and all that stuff. And they're in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So if anybody ever visits Grand Rapids, Michigan, and you're into the model kits and you're looking for Bandai things, which would include SH Figuarts, make sure you hit up Galactic Toys or at least check out their website. They might be something you wanna pay attention to those guys. Anton, that would be a big giant cat feather in their cap if they could pull that Daniel Day-Lewis as Magneto. I know, man. Like all I've heard about him is how he retired. If he came back as Magneto, that would be amazing. Namco, Pac-Man, Tekken, Soul Blade, etc. I knew Namco was Pac-Man. Tekken, I didn't know. I don't know. I gotta. Oh my goodness. Wait, no, it was Namco Pac-Man. Pac-Man. I feel like I don't know things now. Like my brain just stopped. In row? Wait a sec. What do we got? What do we got, sci-fi? In totally unreal news, Disney also plans to unthaw and reanimate Yul Brynner as Professor X. Now, see, that might get even more eyeballs on it because they'd be like, let's see how a dead guy acts. That would be weird. Maybe they should bring back Walt Disney. I mean, if he's really frozen, who knows? Midway is Mortal Kombat. Got it, Skew. Thank you. Okay, let's go back here. What do we have right now? 8:32. Let's run this till 8:45, guys. That gives us another 13 minutes. I want to go through and show off this figure's photography a little more. That what I love about this shot is just that pop of red on the beret. It's enough to draw your eye to it, and it's just cool. And here you can see they definitely use some kind of, like I have a grass mat. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but that's what I think of it as. So it looks like you've got actual ground that they're on. These bushes can be bought pretty much, I think, at hobby stores like a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's. All these things in the back, I don't know, like maybe usually when I'm seeing trees and bushes and things like that at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, like I brought up before, they're for more like train set scales, so really small. But these look like they're a pretty good size. So that's why I'm thinking maybe they found them in like a pet section in a store, or they went to a PetSmart, or like I said, I have around here a Pet Supplies Plus. Just any kind of pet store, any kind of Walmart or Target might even have stuff like this. So yeah, like this dio shouldn't be that difficult to build. And the fact that they lit it so well, man, I mean, I just think they're stepping it up with their figures. Like one thing we know about when it comes to figures, just because we have all these information sources out there now, kind of like Bobby Bala, is how much money, how crazy it is, the cost when you're putting all this camo on these figures. And this guy, yeah, this guy's sweet. I would definitely need to pick up a few of these because this can just be a generic trooper that you have on your battlefields with any of your figures. Kind of like what Valaverse is doing with a lot of their stuff. There's so many great generic troopers out there. And I love this season zero thing. What I'm wondering about with season zero, because the Monster Force figures that many of us have right now are season one. Obviously, this is kind of a prequel to it. So is this when the infestation first started? And then you got Declan Van Helsing having to be like, crap, now we got to wake up Dracula. Because this is pretty sweet photography as well. And I would say, yeah, they definitely had to use some aerosol, some of that atmosphere aerosol going on in the background. And I'm not against using that, especially on things like these plants. I just wonder about the long term. I'm sure like a few times you're not going to hurt your figures. And I know that I'm a broken record about it, and people have assured me it's fine. But I am concerned about long term impact on the figures. But yeah, I just love the way that they set up this dio that these things are in. I have to admit, I like the photos on the other figure more, but this I think gives a totally creepier look, which it should be doing because this is definitely a zombie head. Check these out. I wish I could zoom this forward a little more. Let's see. Nope, no dice. Hang on, let me do this real quick. I'm going to save this as a zombie, put it on the desktop, and then just because it's me, I'm going to open this in Photoshop, and then I will zoom in on Photoshop so you can see it, because clearly it's not allowing me to do those things. Whoop! What have we? Brick, what's up, sir? Been a bit, man. Good to see you. It has. It's been a minute. Glad you stopped by this fine evening. Hope all's well, man. How did that West Coast Mythics thing go? Mr. Matson, hang on. So I tried opening Photoshop and then the screen went away. Give me just a minute. Let me try and get out of this so I can pop this open. Okay, here we go. Now I'm zoomed in on Photoshop so you guys will be able to see this. Give me just a sec. Let's stop this screen. Woo, hey, it's me. I always like to show other pictures other than me when it comes to this stuff. But check out how good these zombie faces look. That is just so creepy. I likes it. Whee! All right, let's keep moving. Manson, ooh, OG old school like crazy Diz. Uh-oh. Sci-fi, what have we? I remember in the early 2000s, people wanted to see King Kong Bundy play either the Blob or the Kingpin. I mean, I vaguely remember that guy. He was a big dude, so maybe that would have made sense. Midway distributed Namco's Pac-Man. Namco created Tekken and Soul Blade. Midway created Space Invaders, etc. Wow, okay. So they've been around for quite a while. I did not know that, Mr. Madsen. Thank you. Sci-fi, he's alive! You're alive, Brick. Anton, I know you like her, so there's a book about Frankenstein, which is really good. Is that, you're talking a comic book, Anton? Rick, the West Coast Mythic Meetup was fantastic. Got sick after and super busy with my needy 12th graders and ending the school year. Oh my God, man. Well, congratulations on ending the school year, at least with the 12th graders. My assumption is you've still got some juniors and other kids to take care of, but you're so close, Brick. You're so close, man. But that's great to hear that it was fantastic. It is far less great to hear that you got sick. But my assumption is going to be that you got sick because you were awake all the time, just having an absolute blast. So in that instance, worth it. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's great to hear that it went off well. Sci-fi, I'd love for Jada Toys to do Soul Calibur figures. Jada. Ah, they need to do much. Anton, everybody stay safe. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, Anton. Have a great night, and hopefully we'll see you Thursday. Take care. Yep. All right, guys. So, what's everybody think of this zombie? And who all here have you guys started picking up Monster Force? I know I need to get way more of them. I've only got 5 of them right now, and I want to army build those. What was it? The ones that I was telling John about. Oh my gosh. And now I can't remember the names. The Sleepwalkers. I want to army build the Sleepwalkers. Now I see these guys, they look like they'd be a lot of fun to army build, but I think for just general photography, you probably want to army build the previous figure we saw with the red beret a little more. But then there's all kinds from Valaverse that are coming out too, or that are out, that I'm kind of looking at going, man, I would love to army build those. Like basically, I'm looking at Monster Force as a line I would love to get. I'm looking at Action Force as primarily army builders with some really cool figures in there. Like I got the Bone Collector version 2. I love that figure. That thing is ridiculously cool. So there's just too much. There's too much really good stuff right now. And it sounds like an odd complaint, and I'm not at all complaining. I'm only complaining in the fact that I haven't made millions of dollars yet from Toypixx, so I can pick it all up and take pictures. But I need army builders for pictures. I've gotten to that point where I've got to really start getting army builders and taking that a little more seriously than I have been. Still need to pick up my first Monster Force. That's all right, John. That's all right. I think you've got time because even the first series, I think they're all back up for pre-order. So at some point, if you do decide to do it, they are really cool figures, and they have a really good feel to them as well. It's strange. It's like a perfect plastic feel. I keep getting some back stuff I missed on eBay though. Nice. See, there's nothing wrong with that. One of the guys I brought up on X was talking about how with the tariffs and everything, he's like, I'm just going to catch up on a lot of stuff I've missed and see how the tariff thing shakes out. And I thought that was a great idea. Rick, let's see, I too am peeved that I haven't yet made $1 million. Damn it. I know, Brick. I know. That's what we need. We need to all just invest in something crazy. I keep hearing, what was it that I was? So obviously they talk a lot about how Congress is getting into like how it's unfair because they're basically doing insider trading with the stock market. And there's this website that tracks specifically Nancy Pelosi's what she does on the stock market. And the person that put that website together said he's doing great. All he does is he sees what she does and does exactly what she does. So if we want $1 million, let's either find that guy's website or learn how to figure out what Nancy Pelosi is doing in the stock market. We'll make our millions, we'll buy our figures, and we'll take glorious pictures. That's the goal. The money, it's not the money. It's being able to take the fun pictures with massive armies because I'm too lazy to do all that photoshopping. I know how. I just don't want to. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I just love that face sculpt on that bad boy. All right, what do we got? We got us some 843. It's about time, guys. I know I said 845. Oh, wait, hang on. We've got some sci-fi. I am not a Hollywood-style zombie guy. Those things are retarded ghouls, not actual lore zombies. I've always been more of a lycanthrope, vampire, patchwork people, lore ghoul, and assorted monster guy. I need to look up lore ghouls. Let's see, because I don't know. See, I don't. Here's one thing that I'm okay with these guys, sci-fi. I don't know enough about all that other stuff to be a snob in that way. Like, obviously, I'm a figure snob. And if I knew as much as you did about this stuff, I might be a snob about this as well. But because I don't know that much, I'm not a snob. And I'm looking at this going, this looks rad. Plus, I could totally use this hat for a bunch of other figures and the weapons and all the other things. I need to be more of a snob, obviously. Take care, Skew. Have a great night, man. Love me some lycanthropes. Aren't lycanthropes werewolves or basically werewolves? Am I off? Hang on, I'm asking you guys and I can totally just type that up. Lycanthropes. Werewolf. Hey, that looks like basically what's going on. Ability to shapeshift. Ah, okay, okay. So I was close-ish, it looks like. Things I need to learn. Even George A. Romero said that his movies were more like ghouls than zombies. I mean, ghouls can look cool. Lycanthropes are werewolves. Woohoo! All right, go me. I knew something. I am only an average bad nerd. James, hello. And I hate to do this to you. We're about to shut down the live stream, but thank you very much for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's 8:45. I'm gonna shut it down. James will be back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to pop on and see what's going on again, we'd love to have you. And if not, hey, check this one out. See what you think of this live stream and then decide if you figure this whole thing's worth it. But that's it, everybody. Thanks very much for stopping by. I very much appreciate it. So until next time, have fun. Happy snapping. See ya. Pushing the buttons. Getting